Well, hello lads, it's been a while. The Dibble video you're seeing now is pretty darn old. I'm recording this audio after the latest stream. But, the Dibble stream happened during a point where I couldn't really do a whole lot, and stuff continues to happen, and I just didn't want to go back and do it. So instead of actually, going back and doing the stream as I normally would, I did the final animations of each one, if I recall, and then called it good. It was done. No more of that. Editing these again and again and again, it gets exhausting, honestly, and I've got other things I need to do, and other things I want to do. So, yeah. There's that stream, the Dibble one anyway. As far as thoughts on the stream, it was fine. I didn't get to really look it over. I just went to the latest of each animation, and I plopped it there, if I recall. So I didn't watch it, but it looked like it would have been alright, I guess? I mean, it's a slip and slide little guy. Interesting, I guess, compared to most. Definitely more interesting than walking and stuff like that we'd had before. The final animation I like. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it immediately, at least not as far as I can see. Not really looking that close, I suppose, but it looks how I expect it to, so it does its job. After that was the Galley stream, and that one's, gosh, it's like a month later, isn't it? But as I'm recording this, funny story about that. So, my headphones decided to break last night, and the moment that happened, I was like, the devs are gonna stream, because I don't have a headset. They did, because of course. And so, as I'm recording this now, I am naked and afraid as far as headset goes, which feels incredibly odd. If you've ever done a lot of recording or sound stuff with a headset on whenever you're doing it, you can hear yourself a little bit better. Like, my headphones cancel out a lot of the background noise, and so it's easier to ignore anything going on back there. But without them, it's much less so, and my voice is going to sound different because I'm not hearing it through the mic. And it's odd. It feels unusual. I don't like it. But it is what it is. Editing this would be absolutely impossible without a headset. As you can imagine, you kind of need to hear sound in order to edit sound, and I don't have speakers. So I'll have to steal someone else's headset and edit with that. So that's gonna be... Anyway. Galley stuff. It was skeleton, decay, or gore, or whatever the heck. It was, I mean, I guess you could say it was kind of interesting. There was a lot of visual stuff going on, but it wasn't animation, so those looking for animation are gonna have to look elsewhere, because this one had absolutely none of that as far as I can recall. It was a lot of moving the bones, adjusting how those looked compared to like a skeleton or something. And then there was a huge blob of gore stuff, meat chunk, I guess you could say, that was adjusted. Then he quote-unquote melted the skin away and, had it decay and all that. All the fun stuff. Like, it's neat to watch, even if it's not necessarily animation. So pretty entertaining. Unfortunately, I only saw the last portion of it, so I imagine he did other dinosaurs during this stream, but I only came in at the end. Last night I was stuck awake quite a bit longer than usual, and I didn't wake up until quite late, and the stream had been going on for like 3 hours already, so yeah, a lot was missed. I imagine he did other dinosaurs if he did Galley in this time. I think it took him a little over an hour or 2 hours to do Galley. And this is sped up ×4 as always, so that you can imagine how long this actually took. And when I started recording, he had been sitting there for an incredibly long time, messing with the bird camera or whatever. So, yeah, very long, I imagine a little bit tedious, because, I mean, it's neat to watch sped up, but in real time, I imagine this would have been quite a slog, because it's a lot of the same stuff, as you can see here. I did minimal editing to this part. I think there was only one cut somewhere in there, but it'd be that way. A lot of it, I mean, there was a lot of stuff still going on. Like, there was adjusting these bones, and then there was adding in the meat part, there was adjusting the meat, and then after that he could like bend things and warp the model and all that fun stuff. So there wasn't a whole lot that I wanted to cut out because there was still a decent amount going on. And unfortunately I missed whatever he was doing earlier, so yeah. Overall thoughts on this one. I mean, it's technically not animation, but it was still pretty neat to watch. It was interesting in its own way. I like watching him, like, adjust the bones a little bit, again, in sped up form, because otherwise it's a slog. And watching him adjust the meat and how it starts out super small and then he has to warp it around and all that. I found it fun. It was amusing. A simple little thing. Well, quote-unquote simple. I say simple as in, you know, it's not super duper complicated. He's not bringing up a bunch of windows and stuff at all times. He's not having to tinker with an actual animation thingy. He's just, you know, moving meat around and all that fun stuff. Making it look nice. Seeing how he warped it, and I mean, there's probably better ways than warp to describe it, but that's just the best word I've got on me right now. But anyway, it's interesting to see how it moves around and how it's adjusted in order to look like it's, you know, rotting away and stuff like that. It's neat. I liked it. It was fun, even if, again, a little bit repetitive in some points, and there were some areas I cut a little bit because of that, but... but yeah, those are those. Considering he just streamed again, it's entirely possible he might go back to a more usual schedule. It's possible he either didn't feel it or he was assigned to do something else that he couldn't show, and that's why there was the long gap. Who really knows? He can't really say with these guys. But not a whole lot's been going on in the Discord insofar as the people I actually follow have been concerned, and I've been incredibly busy with other things, and it's been a time, honestly. There's been a lot. I am still excited for, whenever the Cerato and Trudon update decides to finally show itself. It sounded like, I don't recall, didn't in the dev blog they mention there was some sort of Trudon lockup bug that they didn't know the cause of, and that might have, I assume, been the reason for the giant delay. Who knows? I'm just happy, at least, with, you know, all the hold-up, they're still working on other stuff instead of just twiddling their thumbs until that one's done. Seeing Pingu and Cerato added is nice, considering the wait. So overall, I mean, I'm looking forward to the newest update whenever it drops. Again, I assume it's going to be a while. We don't see much movement going on in most areas, and it's just, yeah. Who knows what the holdup is? The stress testers, as of recording this, haven't been given access to the branch as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, we can probably expect a while longer. And then the roadmap is absolutely useless as always. They're going to be rehauling it, so they're not touching it. It hasn't been tweaked with much at all since, oh boy, a long time ago. Like, the last one was 1 or 2 ticks in March 1st. And then before that, it had a long, like, desert period where nothing got poked. And now we're in another one of those. I don't see them using it very much because they're planning on redoing it again, so why use the roadmap you have when you're gonna just do another one again? Cerato and Pingu, as far as I've seen, weren't even added to update 6.5, so who even knows? Well, I mean, roadmap-wise, supposedly they're going to be in when that update drops. And I say supposedly because they're not in the roadmap, so clearly that means there's no promises, even though they've announced it. There's nothing. There's no promises at all. Like, what are you guys talking about? And then Mimic, as far as we're aware, is still MIA. They have mentioned there has been no change regarding Mimic being available when Trudon drops. So, yeah, I don't see that coming anytime soon. One can only guess how long, or if it's just going to be scrapped altogether. I wouldn't be surprised if they just try to quietly get rid of it. Like, when the roadmap is rehauled, they're probably going to remove Mimic from Trudon's info, and then just quietly brush it away. And, you know, never happened. No, what are you guys talking about? We never said anything like that. The usual. You know, that's just what they do. Anyhow, it's a mess. Really, honestly. It gets even more messy the more you watch how development goes. It just... I don't mean to whine that much. I do it plenty in private. I try to keep it mostly out of this, but there are times where it's just, you see what's going on, and you go, what on earth? Still looking forward to the update. We'll see how it is when it drops. I'd like to at least play something new finally, because nothing in the current roster has interested me. So the game's just been kind of in the background for quite a few years. I don't play it very much, as you guys have noticed. When I do play it again, I'll definitely upload that, assuming I get usable footage. The last time I played, even though I joined a server that was over half capacity, over the time period that I was playing it, it went down to like 4 players, and I was like, huh, no wonder I didn't see anyone. But when I joined, it was over 50 people, so what gives? Anyway. That's been my experience with it, so it's a hit or a miss whether I'd be able to use anything, but I'll try my best. If it's fun, I'll probably play it a little bit more. I'll probably play it and have a friend watch, something like that. I would say I would stream it on, like, YouTube or something. However, when I tried to stream it using, like, OBS and putting it on YouTube, it, like, froze up. It had an absolute fit. And even though Arc worked just fine, and you guys know how Arc is, somehow the IO was worse. It didn't work. So I'm just like, oh boy, that's never good when Arc's working in some way better than any other game, because Arc's a trash heap. But you know how that is, I guess. However, I think it worked when I was doing Discord stream stuff. So I will probably have a friend watch or something, because she doesn't want to play it, and I can't blame her. And we'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll have something entertaining happen, who knows. But, yeah. I wouldn't say I'm hopeful. It's more, this next update actually has stuff I like in it, so I'm excited for it in that regard. I have absolutely no faith that it'll, you know, be as fun as it sounds, because that seems to happen every single time. They always overhype something, and then once it's out, it's, well, gore update. But, yeah. We'll see how it goes. I like Cerato, duh. And I like Trudon, so I want to see how they play and how they're handled and stuff like that. Cerato was done dirty in Legacy, like, hardcore, so I'm hoping that this time around he'll be good. I just want him to be useful and, you know, actually be able to do well against stuff and not get absolutely bullied by anything around him. You know, the basics. But we'll see how it goes. I'm hopeful. Well, I shouldn't say hopeful. I have an amount of excitement for being able to play something that I actually enjoy versus a bunch of dinosaurs that I don't care about. Because as much as I enjoy Utah, no, I'm not calling it Omniraptor, and Carno's design I don't like in the Isle. It's just too funky. There's Arc ones, like modded ones, that I like, and Primal Carnage had one that was pretty cool, but the Isle one is... I'm not a fan of it. And Utah is Utah. It's alright. I like its design. It's cool. It's nothing flashy or fancy, but it's there, and it looks appealing. It's just I don't really care to play as it. Like, the way it plays and the way you have to act as it, it's just not what I do, especially because now I play almost entirely solo. So it's just not quite as fun. I imagine Trudon will end up the same way, considering the nature of Trudon, but Cerato sounds like it's been shifted to more of a solo sort of lad. So I'll probably end up playing mostly Cerato, which I kind of expected anyway. I enjoy Cerato. I never would have guessed. I've said before, he's not my favorite, and I chose him as the mascot, so to speak, the face of the channel, because he was the coolest picture in the setup, and I do like Cerato. I've always had sort of a soft spot for him because, you know, Jurassic Park. But he wasn't like a top favorite or anything until I started doing the channel, and I saw him more and more, and I was like, you know, he's pretty cute. And gosh, the Primal Carnage Ceratosaurus looks absolutely adorable. I love it. He's so neat. I don't play Primal Carnage. I used to, but again, I usually play solo, and I think I was having trouble getting games, and usually I'd get shuffled to the human team because I played the first version, not the second one, if I recall. And I don't know if there's auto shuffle in the new one or not, but that's what I always got stuck with. I would join the dinosaur team, and then inevitably people on the human team would leave, and then I'd get stuck over on that team, and I didn't like playing the human side at all, so I just stopped playing. Granted, I think it was an auto shuffle. Maybe it was just the back and forth, you know, one team plays one side and the other team plays the other. I don't remember, but I want to say it was an auto shuffle, like in Team Fortress 2. When one team has a very few players, you get automatically shifted to the other. My memory is not the greatest. It's been many, many years since I played Primal Carnage, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But that's how I remember it being, and I remember just not liking it, so... Well, the human side. I like the dinosaur side, it was pretty neat. But, anyhow, I hope everything with you guys has been doing well, and everything's been fun and all that for those who play the game or are playing other games or whatever you guys might be doing. It's just been tiring and busy over here. It's a something. I'll still continue to do what I can. I only check a few of the devs on the Discord because most of them were either not saying anything of use or kept whining all the time. And so there's only a select few that I've just been checking repeatedly as of late. I need to save some of my sanity because it definitely takes a lot sometimes to force yourself to look at the things that go on within that Discord. I only post a tiny amount, and usually I avoid the arguments that happen out of nowhere, and I'm talking about the devs between users, and the just pettiness. It's... boy. But that's off topic. I've been tired, and I'm sorry. I mean to post more. Granted, there hasn't, again, been new stuff lately, but, like the gameplay and stuff, I need to edit more, and there's still that concept art thing that I want to get done. But whenever I have free time, it's very difficult to try to get myself to edit something, because I've done so much of it. I guess you could call it Burnout, because I've done it non-stop until just recently, I suppose. For 2 years, has it been now? 1, 2, I don't remember. And then the stream gauntlets where you try to get those done as quickly as possible. It's condensed editing all in whatever free time I have. It's exhausting. It doesn't seem like much, and yeah, it's not a lot. It's just tedious, and I'm slow, and it's tiring. It's just mentally draining, and emotionally, I suppose, at this point. But we'll see. I keep hoping that at some point it might get a little bit better, and that eventually things will be more enjoyable again, but don't know. We'll see. One never knows what the future holds. But in the meantime, the plan is when the Cerato and stuff drops, I will try to get more of the gameplay going. I play other games when I can. However, I don't post them here. I've been tempted. However, I know this audience wouldn't necessarily be interested in the games that I play. except for maybe The Forest. However, when I look at Sons of the Forest and the other YouTubers who have uploaded it, I've heard a lot of them talking about it being demonetized and all this other stuff without, even when they censor stuff or try to avoid certain things within certain time frames. I think it was Insim mentioned that he hit someone with a log within the first 7 minutes, nothing else happened, and it got demonetized for extreme violence or something, and he just bumped someone with a log. It wasn't gruesome in any manner at all, it just was bumping with a log. He threw a log at someone, that's it. And it got demonetized, and it's like, oh well, that's not great. Not a good look. So, I don't know if I'll mess with that. I did record Sons of the Forest, and I wanted to post stuff on it, because a lot of amusing things happen, and maybe I'll do a little highlight reel or something. I'll have to see how that goes. Because I don't know how having demonetized videos on your channel affects how you're viewed. Like, YouTube will hide videos from channels it quote-unquote doesn't like. Like, me not posting for a long period of time will sometimes get other videos that I do post later hidden away. And they might be more stingy on how ads are done and all that stuff. But the visibility is the hardest part because, I mean, it's a news channel, so you kind of want it to be seen. So that's the difficult one. I already don't make much from YouTube, so I can't say the money thing is as big a deal. Like, it's helpful and I do enjoy it, definitely. However, the visibility thing is definitely a problem when you want people to see, you know, the news stuff, so it be that way, I suppose. But since the Isle doesn't seem to have that problem, whenever the Trudon and Stratos stuff comes out, I definitely want to try playing that, and if I have the time and the strength and the energy and the will to live, I will try to edit those. I don't expect it, don't think it's going to be anything fancy, because editing right now is extremely exhausting. I've done so much of it in such a small period of time. Well, quote-unquote small period of time, I suppose. Mostly talking about the stream gauntlet there, but anyway. It's exhausting. It's difficult to want to open Vegas sometimes, so that's how it is. But I'll try to get, you know, gameplay and stuff going when I can. I definitely don't want this channel going under or anything like that, and I don't want to abandon it. It's just, you know, the ones that I follow on Discord aren't posting very much. Like, the community manager is not posting as much as Kissin is, and isn't she, like, one of the game directors? I know she's up there, like, alongside Dondi, so far as, you know, game developer ranking goes. And she posts more often than Punch does. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, it's done. I'm done now. I said I was done earlier, wasn't done, but I guess I thought of some more stuff, but I'm done now. I hope, again, everything's gone well. I'm sorry that I haven't been as active or anything. It's, for one, not as much posted, but two, absolutely drained. It's tiring. But, we'll see how it goes. Have a great day or night whenever you see this or it gets posted. And goodbye!
Thank you.